So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 14 of our season 2 here on F1 Manager 24. Now if you didn't watch the last episode, to be honest with you, I normally say go back and watch it. I really wouldn't do because it was a tough old slog in Budapest. We saw Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri leading the way for McLaren, but my word was it a difficult day for Team Lotus. 17th and 20th respectively. Very, very difficult day indeed. 2 laps behind we finished. And there's nothing more to say than it was a very, very poor day indeed. Standings-wise, it does mean that we are still currently P8 in the Constructors. Alpine are next up on 14, but we are very much in a fight with RB and Kick Sauber at the moment. McLaren are leading the way on 530 points from Red Bull and Ferrari. Driver standings-wise, Lando Norris is leading by 42 points from Oscar Piastri. Verstappen a little bit further back at the moment. Will Lando Norris bring home a world title? Let me know down in the comments. There are the F2 drivers and constructors and the F3 constructors and drivers as well. Tommy Smith still doing rather well for Rodin Motorsport. Now we are doing more research on the car in prep for next season. It's all eyes on next season, when we are hoping to make a splurge so long as the board keep us here. I'm thinking about bringing in or trying to entice George Russell into the team for next season. George Russell, a Kingsling boy, of course. I think that would be quite a nice storyline. He's got 3 years left on his remaining contract, so he might not be able to do it. Or do we go for 2 of the elder statesmen, Hamilton and Alonso at Lotus? What does that sound like? Let me know what you think. But this weekend we head to Spa-Francorchamps, 44 laps round here, longest lap on the calendar. We are expecting rain on Friday and on Sunday. The expected strategy is normally a one-stop, but car attributes, top speed is crucial, and high-speed cornering, we should be able to put on a bit of a better show here in Belgium this afternoon. So that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get through practice, and I'll see you in qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix. Final laps in Q1 then. Hauger's not had to go out for a second run. He was comfortable after his first run, but Fittipaldi locked up, so he's put all the pressure on this final qualifying lap. Where can Fittipaldi put that car? It's only P19 as we fast forward on. Hauger comfortably into Q2, but Fittipaldi will start in P20 for tomorrow's Grand Prix. Hauger's having a better second flying lap. He had a shocking first one in Q2. Where can Hauger put this Lotus car? It's been a difficult qualifying for us so far, not quite as difficult as Hungary, it must be said, but Hauger, as he crosses the line, where can he put that? It's only P15. Sonoda behind him hasn't finished his lap yet, and as they all cross the line, he does stay P15. So not the best qualifying, it must be said. Let's just have a look at the Q3 results, and it will be Max Verstappen on pole position, Sainz in P2 with Norris and Piastri on the second row. So Hauger's actually got a grid penalty from the last race, so he's going to take a drop a few positions. Fittipaldi right at the back. Rain on Sunday though, so who knows what could happen. Right then, ladies and gents, Hauger right at the very back of the grid in P20. Now, the rain is not going to stop all day on Sunday in Spa, as we can see. They reckon we can be aggressive on the tyres. We'll push them as long as we possibly can and see where we get. So I reckon safety car might come into it at some point. But you can see we've got quite a lot of movement on when we pit for the intermediates. So P17, P20, let's get to 5 red lights.
Final checks are being carried out by the teams, and it won't be long until we get this race underway. This race should be a good chance to see what Valtteri Bottas can manage.
18th is really going to put pressure on the team to have a perfect race. Feels like too much to ask.
But just what will happen here, your guess is as good as mine. You can hear the excitement in the crowd here at the Belgian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and Verstappen got a decent start, as did Carlos Sainz. It looks like the 2 Red Bulls are going to lead into turn 1, but Piastri in P3. Fittipaldi's already gaining a position and looking to attack Checo Perez. We've took quite a lot of fuel out of these Lotus cars. I think that's possibly the most fuel I've ever took out of these Lotus cars, because we know we're going to be spending a lot of this in the wet conditions. Obviously we don't consume quite as much fuel, less full throttle around the circuit, but we will be full throttle along here at this moment in time, because Fittipaldi looking at the back of this Alpine. Can he make a move into this chicane. I don't think he's going to manage to. He'll probably tuck him back behind. No, he has gone for the move, and he's forced Perez a little bit wide there. Can he once again chuck it down the inside? Fittipaldi trying to make moves early doors here. And is he about to get this done as we switch back to the television camera down the inside? He forces Perez a little bit wide. Perez keeps his nose in, and it's a good battle early doors here around the circuit, but he's still keeping his nose in. He's Enzo Fittipaldi, and he looks as though he's got the job done. Has he got the job done? He's still having to run a little bit wider, but it is job done. Fittipaldi up to P15. Superb work from Fittipaldi early doors. Hauger P19 just settling into the race. He's now got past Hülkenberg and looking at the back of a Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas, no less. Oh my word, the two Red Bulls were leading this Grand Prix, Verstappen and Sainz. Let's have a little look at what happens here. Sainz lunges down the inside and takes out Max Verstappen. I mean, I think that's probably fair from Verstappen. Let me know what you think down in the comments. But how crucial could that be for Red Bull, both in the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships? Hauger, he's not having a nice time of this at this moment in time. As you can see, Frederick Veste in the kick Sauber. It must say Hauger just seems to have lost all his pace that he had at the start of this season. DRS has just been enabled, in fact, because we did just quickly drop to dry conditions. Now, I don't know if we've got DRS at this moment in time. We'll have to just double check on that, because we can see Fittipaldi is pushing on to try and catch up with Perez, Zhou and Ocon in front of him. We've actually got a little bit of ERS that we can use here to try and push on. Hauger is now in the DRS of Veste. In fact, he's all over the back of Frederick Veste. It is Dennis Hauger, and he's getting very, very frustrated in that Lotus at the moment, down in P20. By the way, both Red Bulls have got rear wing damage. You can see that's on Carlos Sainz's car and that's on Verstappen's. They've basically ruled each other out of this race today. So disappointing. Fittipaldi is starting to make moves here. Let's have a little look at this one. Down the inside of Zhou Guanyu. He's making moves and he's making his way towards the points. Of course, the two Red Bulls dropping out have gained us 2 free positions. We can see two Williams in front of us, and if we get past these guys, we will be in the points. He's doing a very, very decent job at the moment, is Fittipaldi. We're just going to push him on a little bit on the ERS once again, and we're looking after the tyres well as well. Look at our tyres compared to a few of the others. It's looking very positive at the moment for Fittipaldi. We needed to get past 2 of the Williams. Well, we've just got past 1 because of this. The 2 Williams fighting. It must be said, Fittipaldi putting the pressure on as well and into the bus stop chicane. Esteban Ocon locks up and drops towards the back. So Fittipaldi, once again, is on the cusp of points today. He's now starting to drop away from Alexander Albon a little bit. That is probably due to the fact that when we've got the wet conditions, of course, we don't get the DRS. And DRS really does help us around this circuit. In fact, around most circuits, I've started to come to the conclusion that the reason we've been able to get points at times is because we've managed to stay in the DRS of other cars, because our pure pace is not quite there. Meanwhile, as we come on to lap 9, we'll just have a little look at Lando Norris, who's fighting with Piastri. It's a 2-horse fight for the lead here. There's mistakes happening everywhere on this circuit today in these difficult conditions, but our guys are not normally too bad in these conditions. We're going to have a little look at Nico Hülkenberg now, who's had a little spin, and it must be said teammates are fighting all the way around, and that is so easy to do. If you've never done that on F1 24 or F1 23, please do let me know. But Nico Hülkenberg now to the back of the grid again. If we keep this on the circuit, opportunities may present themselves. Lance Stroll's joined the party. He crashed in qualifying, but now he's managed to get past Fittipaldi. We're a little bit disappointed at that, to be fair, but my word, did he come from a long way back. And let me know down in the comments. He seems to have shoved him a little bit there. Did he just get the elbows out? But that has cost Fittipaldi quite a little bit of time, as he's now 1.7 behind. So we're just going to deploy him a little bit, see if we can get him back in the slipstream so we can pick that up, because we don't want Zhou Guanyu catching us. Meanwhile, Verstappen and Sainz are just toddling around at the bike, both with broken rear wings. Can you imagine the debrief that they're going to be having after this race? Lando Norris still leading by half a second from Piastri, but it looks like one of the 2 McLarens will be winning this today. Lawson was the first one to dive into the pits onto the fresh intermediate tyres. Meanwhile, Fittipaldi He's starting to use his tyres. Let's just have a little look at this. He manages to get the move done on Alexander Albon. Fantastic work from him. And yes, that is Logan Sargent you can see in front of you. So there is still very much points on offer today for this team. Mega, in fact, for Fittipaldi. We're just loving the fact that our tyres at the moment are in great nick. We're making these tyres last beautifully. Even Hauger, who's pushing on, we can extend this stint. And if there's a safety car or something like that, we will be quids in. And you wouldn't back against the safety car today, because at this moment in time there's been a few mistakes from a few drivers. Can Fittipaldi make a move here, or is he going to get boxed in? Alexander Albon doesn't go for the move, fortunately, but both cars at the minute doing a very nice job. Is the tyre wear on this Lotus in the wet working for us here? Because we can see Hauger into the bus stop chicane. Beautiful move. Once again, we enjoyed that a lot. Now, again, it's all eyes on Fittipaldi at this moment in time. Hauger's doing a good job. He's just getting up the order, but Fittipaldi's burnt away from Sargent, and now he's pushing on. He's on the back of Tsunoda once again. His tyres are on 59%. Now, I've just took the strategy, so this is the latest you can see here. This is the latest that we can pick before we start losing time, but we are at the moment using these tyres up beautifully. Hauger is going to push on as well. We're going to use these tyres now with Hauger, really try and push up to the wards of Bottas and Sargent, and then once we get to those guys, then we can be flexible once again. But if a safety car comes in these extra few laps, we're going to be quids in. Fittipaldi has got Yuki Tsunoda. Lovely work once again. Bus stop chicane once again. And Fittipaldi is now up into P8, I believe that is. I believe that's net P8 for Fittipaldi. Sorry, it's P9 for Fittipaldi. 9 seconds to Stroll. But we are definitely the quicker out of these cars at the minute. And he's still utilising these tyres beautifully. Meanwhile, Piastri is in P1. Leclerc in P2. Gasly in P3. We're just keeping an eye on the live. Actually, it doesn't look like Tsunoda's going to come back at him, or is he? No, he isn't. Norris has dropped down to P4, but he has already pitted. Russell's in P5, Lawson P6, then comes Porsche, Stroll and Fittipaldi in P9. Optimal pit lap for Hauger, but we're not quite ready yet when the cars around us are still struggling. Towards the end again, we're going to have a tyre offset and we're looking forward to using it. Hauger has got show. Now this is making me wonder, are a few of these cars going to try a no-stop strategy here? Because as you can see, Hauger there just forces him a little bit wide. That's good driving again from the Team Lotus car. But are these guys going to try a no-stop? You wouldn't suggest so, but at the moment we're pushing on well with Hauger. He's the one at the moment that we're really pushing on. Fittipaldi's only 6 seconds behind George Russell. He's lapping in the 153s. Albon's just gone into the 52s, as has Bottas, so we've got to be aware of that. He's probably, what, 17 seconds behind now. We come out behind Albon, but we are going to maximise this offset at the end of the Grand Prix and go from there. But it's full attack mode now with both cars. The track has just changed to dry and Hauger is pushing on. He's going to do one more lap on these tyres, then he's going to come in. In fact, no, we're going to bring him in now. Hauger is coming in now. So Fittipaldi into the pit stops, as is Hauger as well. So both cars in. Let's hope we get a decent pit stop here from the team. It looks a very solid pit stop. 2.7, we'll take that all day long as Hauger carries on for one more lap. We didn't make the call quick enough. Fittipaldi is coming out now. Where is Albon? Albon, we've got Bottas, we've got Tsunoda. Fittipaldi coming out. He comes out just in front of Alexander Albon, just behind Perez. Perez yet to pit, although Albon did just about manage to get in front of him. So Fittipaldi now out onto the fresh intermediate tyres. Albon's off tyre offset. He's not going to work towards the end. Tsunoda looks like he had a bad stop as well. So Fittipaldi very much in the fight for points today, and already looking as though he fancies a move on Alexander Albon. Will he go for it? No, he won't. He will go for the move though on Checo Perez, and that is absolutely crucial. Fair play to Fittipaldi. He's making this Lotus work today. You join us back as Hauger is in to the pit lane. We're going to watch this from on board, Hauger. Do we get a decent pit stop? We certainly do. It's not quite as quick as Fittipaldi's, but good nonetheless. We saw Fittipaldi overtake Albon, and I think we're going to get to see him overtake Zhou Guanyu as well. He loves an overtake at the bus stop chicane, does Enzo Fittipaldi. We are going to have to look at how quickly we can conserve fuel, and as he gets the exit, my word, he's making that Lotus look like a Ferrari at this moment in time. Beautiful work from Fittipaldi. We're just going to see Hauger trundling out of the pit lane. Where does he come out? He comes out behind Logan Sargent and Carlos Sainz. But again, the tyre offset is going to be absolutely crucial at the end of this Grand Prix. Porsche, he's only 7 seconds up the road. Zhou Guanyu's tyres he's got to pit. It's looking very, very handy indeed for Fittipaldi at the moment, but he's just got re-overtaken by Zhou Guanyu. Or has he? Because Fittipaldi just shoves him a little bit wide. We're not having none of that sunshine today. We have got 17 laps to go. We've got to monitor the fuel situation as well. But Fittipaldi doing a lovely job at the moment. You join his bike with 10 laps to go, and you join his bike just as Alexander Albon has managed to get past Enzo Fittipaldi, which is rather disappointing because we've been conserving fuel. We're just getting this back in check. We expect to be comfortable on fuel towards the end. We've still got a lot of ERS to look at as well, but Albon's tyres will drop off towards the end, so I'm not overly concerned about that at the minute. We're just getting the fuel back into check, then we'll be attacking again. Meanwhile, Norris is leading by 9 seconds from Piastri. Leclerc is in P3, Gasly again P4, Russell P5, Lawson, Stroll in P7 but has got a technical fault. Porsche P8, Albon P9, but Bottas could ruin the points party. We have got 5 laps to go, and both Lotus cars have been told now is the time to attack because you have got the tyres, boys. Bottas is even struggling on tyres compared to Fittipaldi. Can Fittipaldi chase down Porsche? It's looking unlikely. Could Hauger chase down Bottas? That's the big question at the moment. We're going to give him every opportunity to do so, and Hauger now is pushing on. Could we get a double points finish today? It's unlikely, but stranger things have happened. Now this could be huge. Lance Stroll has retired from the session and managed to reverse part that beautifully somehow in the garage. That must have been some 3-point turn, but that has meant that Fittipaldi, I mean, look at this guy here. This guy has seen enough. But let's just have a quick look, because that means Fittipaldi is now in P8. It now means Hauger is in P12. Make that P11, and Hauger has got 3 laps to close, 5 seconds. He's pushing on at the moment. Could he possibly catch Alexander Albon? Stranger things have happened, but Fittipaldi, P8, is making this look very, very comfortable indeed. We're just monitoring the gap to Bottas. Norris has got this at a canter. Come on, Dennis Hauger. Final lap of the Grand Prix, and we have got 2 battles on our screen which we are watching intently, because Hauger now is on the bike of Alexander Albon. He's closed the gap. Meanwhile, Bottas somehow managed to catch Fittipaldi and get past him, but now Fittipaldi is going to be going for a move back. Let's keep an eye on both battles here now. This is going to take some camera work. Fittipaldi straight away, not hanging around, going for the move on Valtteri Bottas. He's looking down the outside of him. Will he manage to get this job done? We can see them side by side going into this chicane. Can he get the job done here? He goes, and it looks like he has done. And what a move from Fittipaldi, and what a move from Dennis Hauger, who has also got Alexander Albon through Eau Rouge. This is a ballsy move from Dennis Hauger, and he's got the job done beautifully. Now he's pushing on to ensure that he's past Alexander Albon. The tyres are screaming at the moment for Hauger. The tyres are screaming for Fittipaldi, but it looks at the moment like he's just got enough to keep this going. Lando Norris has won the Grand Prix. Leclerc's finished in P2. Piastri has finished in P3, but it's all eyes on both Team Lotus cars at the moment. They're pushing on the fuel, on everything at the minute, because we've saved the tyres. The tyre offset that we stated has been absolutely crucial here as Fittipaldi comes through this middle section. Do not make a mistake now, Fittipaldi. We're going to give you all the ERS in the world down this back straight, and it looks like Hauger's done enough as well to keep it in touch and keep it out of Alex Albon's claws at this moment in time. Fittipaldi goes down the back straight. Is he going to be caught? Is he? Valtteri Bottas is nowhere near this man. We're just going to tell him to calm down a little bit just for this last couple of moments, as we are with Dennis Hauger as well. This could be the first double points paying positions of the season for Team Lotus, and as we can see, Fittipaldi, he's going to cross the line and he's going to get P8. Great work from Fittipaldi. And Dennis Hauger, what a recovery drive from this man. We doubted him a little bit at the start of this Grand Prix, but it's P10 for Hauger. What a race in Spa.
Lando Norris certainly loves the podium, heading up there now to celebrate again.
Taking their 8th win of the season, there's just no stopping them.
No stopping him indeed. McLaren look absolutely imperious at this moment in time. Leclerc in P3. Fair play to McLaren, fair play to Ferrari, but there's a bigger story here, because Lando Norris wins, as we saw from Leclerc and Piastri. Pierre Gasly in P4, 5th for Russell, 6th for Lawson, 7th for Teo Porcher. That's a fantastic points haul for Kick Sauber. But Enzo Fittipaldi, 9 positions gained on the day. Bottas, 9 positions gained. And Dennis Hauger gets Alexander Albon and gets his first point of the season. Driver standings wise, Lando Norris still leading the way now. It's looking ominous for the rest of the competition. George Russell is now in P7, overtaking Lance Stroll. But there we go. Enzo Fittipaldi has gained 4 points, taking him on to 7 for the season, above Esteban Ocon. And Dennis Hauger scores his first point of the season. Constructor standings wise, we can see that McLaren are now on 570 points. They are 108 in front of Red Bull and a long way ahead of Ferrari and Aston Martin. We see that we've actually dropped a position. We are level on points with Sauber now on 8 points each. Williams has got to be the target for P6, we do think. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of that first double points finish in the wet as well. We very much enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Please do like and subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one. Ta-ra!